Great having Dakota Bush back here on the program, who's going to be back in action himself coming up here January 15th, UFC Fight Night. Dakota, how's it going, man?
It's been going great. I can't complain. Healthy and ready to roll come January.
Yeah, that's great to hear, man. Before we talk about health and everything else, you're in the car right now. Where am I getting you today? You just finished up practice or just going to practice?
Just finishing up not too long ago. Just got something to eat with the guys and getting ready to head home and chill for a little bit and then go watch that UFC Pass Invitational tonight with got a couple guys like James Krause and Grant Dawson, Mike England, and Jason Hyde grappling on it tonight. So a couple of us are going to go hang out and watch it and be a good time.
Yeah, that sounds great. You kind of referenced it there, being healthy. Of course, we were supposed to see you in August. I know you got COVID. How bad were the symptoms? It affects everyone a little bit differently. How did it impact you?
I didn't notice anything, honestly. Fight week showed up. They test you, they call you and say, "Hey, you're clear to work," or and whatnot. And every time I've been in a corner or a fight, I've been good to go. So I just never really noticed. So two cornermen, they got their test back, and we're sitting there waiting, and it's kind of weird. Usually they call me first, and sure enough, I got a call about 15 minutes later saying that I tested positive. And it is what it is. It's the world we're living in right now. I couldn't do nothing about it. I didn't know. So, but as far as my feeling wise, my health, I didn't notice anything from day one till after it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I know, like I said, it affects everyone a little bit differently. So I imagine you wanted to fight sooner than this. Were you trying to get on another card? Like, what was sort of the steps after the 2 weeks were over and you were cleared?
Definitely, we would have loved to got right back into it, a week or two later, whenever my 10 days of quarantine were up. But more than just getting in a rush, it was the right opponent. Just having a good matchup and not rushing it. I still got time, so we just wanted all of our ducks to be lined up. So that's what we did. We just went the patient route, and I think it paid off because I believe this is a great matchup for me.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to this fight. Let's talk about your opponent here. 5-1 record. Not going to attempt to say his full or last name. I know it's a bit of a tricky one there, but what do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
He's everyone says this all the time. He's a tough guy, blah blah blah. This guy he's very tough. He's durable. He's got good cardio. He comes from a kickboxing background. I believe he's had over 300 kickboxing matches. So um, as far as striking wise, people never really got to see my striking. I showcased a little bit last time, but that was on 6 days' notice. Um, I have a different, awkward, unorthodox style of striking and heavy pressure. So we'll see, how that lines up with what he's used to and whatnot. So and the biggest thing is, he's only had 6 fights of MMA. He's more comfortable on the feet. So I plan on to take him to deep waters and drown him.
You referenced it there off the top, and this is something we talked about last time. Is I know you're at Glory MMA. I know you were kind of doing some training there before, but are you full time there now? Kind of, what's the situation with your training camp right now?
No, I still train at Smith Pit. That's where I came up and been my whole career. But I have been coming up to Glory now for the past 2 fights for camps. So last fight I came up for 4 weeks, and then this time I'm up here for 5. So we just me and my coach talked, and we just needed the bodies, the looks, and different, just more bodies, more work, and James Krause, he's just a different level coaching style than a lot of other gyms that are around, and so his ideas and his morals, they line up with the same as my coach and my gym, so it's a perfect fit for me.
And who are some of the main guys you get to work with? When you think of lightweights at that gym, obviously Grant Dawson, Trey Ogden, who I know just got signed as well. Who are some of the main guys you get to work with?
So mostly every day I've been drilling with Grant Dawson, and as far as like rolls and sparring, I get rounds in with David Onama, who was just signed recently. He's super tough, and he took his fight on like 3 days notice weight class, and fought Mason Jones, a super tough guy, to a decision. If you give David 2 weeks, that's a different fight. Um, I mean, there's just so many guys, Mike Breeden. Uh, it's just a room full of guys my size. So
Yeah.
I can't get the work anywhere else. And everyone here is hard workers, super respectful, and it's a good mesh for everyone.
What about your gym back home? Who do you get to work with there as far as bodies in the gym? Maybe not household names, but maybe some names you might hear about in the future.
Yeah, we're a small gym. There's only 4 of us that really train there like on a consistent basis. One is myself, Jake Collier, who's a heavyweight fighting on the same card as me. And then 2 amateurs named Terry Copeland and Jacob Hiley. They're super young in their careers, but I think they're on the right path. And here in maybe 3 years or so, you'll most likely be hearing them guys' names.
We talked about this fight being in January. We got the holidays coming up. How do you navigate through that? Do you get to enjoy a bit of Christmas dinner or anything, or do you have to skip that? Like, how does that work? Because that's the one kind of downside of this is it's right after the holidays.
Yeah, I've been eating pretty much what I want, but I'm eating super clean. But I've been eating great portion sizes.
Mhm.
So my weight's great right now. I'm training 2 times a day, every day, and just getting that consistent work. And my body's just constantly, just steadily, the numbers are getting lower on the scale. So I'm heading in the right direction. So yeah, I'll probably enjoy a little bit of Christmas dinner. I'm not going to go too crazy, but I'll have some of it for sure.
And then your corner, who will be in the cage with you that night? Will James Krause be there? Have you figured that out yet? I know we got a bit of time before the fight.
Yeah, it'll be James Krause, Grant Dawson, and Patrick Smith, who's also my coach from back home.
How do you envision this fight playing out on January 15th?
Um, you know, I just see so many different scenarios, going down in my head, and really, I just see me being too much experience. I know it's going to be a fight where I got to gut it. I got to dig deep in points in this fight to get the win, but it's I'm not really shooting for a certain game plan. It's just to take the win wherever it presents itself, whether it's a submission, knockout, decision. I'm just coming out on top.
We just had UFC 269 last weekend, a big fight in your division. Charles Oliveira defeating Dustin Poirier. What was your reaction to that? Were you expecting that to happen, or how did you envision that fight playing out?
Yeah, I knew. I've been saying this for about 4 or 5 years. Me and one of my buddies back home, we've been on the Charles train for a good while, and I think he is the most well-rounded fighter from 125 to heavyweight throughout the whole UFC. He's just a complete package, and he's going to be tough to beat. But yeah, I saw the fight going pretty much the way it went. I thought maybe it would go a little deeper, maybe like 4th or 5th round, but I saw Charles getting the submission.
What about the co-main event? Juliana Pena is the new bantamweight champion. What did you think of that fight?
Yeah, I did not expect that. The one thing I did respect though was how confident Pena was, and the fact that she didn't respect who Amanda was. She didn't care who she's beat. This tear she's been on, the win streak. She didn't care about none of that. And when you truly believe in yourself, it's very powerful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Any plans for the holidays lined up? Just staying with family or traveling anywhere? What do you got on the agenda right now? I know the focus is on the fight, but still, we got Christmas coming up here
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, yeah. That's the main thing I've been trying to do this fight is I'm not trying to be obsessed and think about it to where I'm stressed. Almost every fight I've had in my career, it's on my mind all day long. Whether I'm training, I'm eating, doing, just sitting watching TV. It's just constantly obsessing about it, and sometimes it's to a fault. And so I've just really been trying to, focus on my training and, giving everything I got there, getting better, and then really focusing on recovering and relaxing. And then here and there, sit down and kind of watch some film maybe and work on things we need to. So I'm going to go home and spend some time with my family. They miss me being up here, and I miss them as well. So it's going to be super fun going back home and getting to see the kids on Christmas. And it's also me and my wife's favorite time of the year. So I'll be super excited.
I'm always excited to get to talk to you, man. Dakota, thanks so much for the time. It's UFC Fight Night coming up here January 15th. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on here. I'd like to thank everyone back home that I trained with at the pit, everyone up here at Glory, my wife and my kids for supporting me. And it's hard for me, but it's even harder for them. All my sponsors, there's so many. My wife just made a post the other day, so you guys know who you are. But it makes it a lot easier with the help of everyone. So I appreciate and love everyone that's, giving their time and supports me.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.